Hey folks, welcome back. Bits and Pieces here again. First off, I just want to thank you all for your support and your words of encouragement while I kind of further delve into this music scene. This is something I really did never think I'd be this passionate about. It really started out as a creative outlet for me, something I just like to do as much as I used to like to write. And it's kind of turned into something that I am really looking forward to exploring when I'm not working, when I'm not doing other things. But I've taken a lot of time out of my life to really focus on this, and I don't think I could have ever done it without those of you who've really been helping me out. So thank you. I actually also really want to thank those of you who have discouraged me from doing this. I have, unfortunately, I'm sure a lot of you have been through this before. Just had some really negative people tell me, you're a failure. You're not going to do anything great. You'll never make it. That might be the case. Maybe I won't make it. But the fact is, I'm trying, and I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing because I'm happy about it, and I'm not going to let a couple people really try to ruin that for me. It can be really hurtful for some people if you're really passionate about something and somebody tells you you suck. But hey, I'm making music. I've got a small following. I got an album out. Those people typically that I've noticed do that, they don't have much going for them anyway. So they're just either jealous or maybe I don't know, they just like to try to ruin your day. So some of you have actually been asking me, what got me started into the whole video game music scene. And that's really what the whole point of this video is going to be about. Just want to give you a little bit of a background. Some of it's, pretty run of the mill. Some of it not so much. I had some stuff happen a couple of years ago that was very challenging, but I overcame it, and this actually kind of helped me get through a lot of what I dealt with, and we'll get into that later in this video. So with that, let's get started. Back in the early 2000s, I stumbled across a little video game on the PS1 called MTV Music Generator. It had a large selection of riffs and samples from many genres of music, and even gave you the ability to make some of your own. And it let you rip samples from other CDs. Now, it was by no means perfect, but it did what I needed it to. I toyed around with it during high school and slowly backed away from it. Alright, so at the beginning of the video I told you that part of my backstory is pretty run-of-the-mill, but I also did tell you that some of it isn't. So this next part, I'm not uncomfortable talking about it. It is a little bit tough to talk about, but it may not be comfortable for everybody to hear, so I do apologize in advance. So back in 2016, within a 6-month period, I lost a relative to cancer. A very short period of time after that, I actually witnessed part of a suicide, and I had to be that person to make that 911 call. That person, obviously they didn't make it, and that was really tough to deal with. Kind of battled with myself that maybe that was my fault. Maybe I wasn't fast enough to make the call. I did panic a bit at first, but tried to get through that. And very shortly after that, I actually had a pretty good friend of mine get murdered. So that first half of that year was really tough for me, and I really think looking back, should have destroyed me. It really should have just kind of changed a lot of things about me, and maybe should have kept me from doing the things I wanted to do because it was so awful. But on the bright side, I got the help I needed, and in a way, as weird as it sounds, it really woke me up and kind of got me to realize my time and everybody's time on this earth is taken for granted, and it's very limited. And shortly after all of that happened, and while I was getting that help, is when I started finding these music programs that gave me the creative outlet that I needed to work on this music. And what it did was my brain, and some people also have this issue too, where the brain has a tendency to try to fixate on that bad stuff and maybe try to kind of cripple you from doing the things that you want. I overcame that, and that's where this music really helped me out. It started out very simple and started getting more complex shortly after, and that's kind of where I am today. So For my birthday in 2016, I was given a Steam gift card, and that's where I found Rhythmic Ultimate, and I got hooked. I made chiptune inspired tracks as well as other tracks that reminded me of my early music making days, but eventually I found a knack for the video game theme tunes instead. Earlier this year, Rhythmic released a new program, Rhythmic Studio, and oh boy, talk about a vast improvement. They essentially put everything within reach, letting me mix my work and add all the effects I needed to on the fly. Granted, it's still in its early stages, but I'd be lying if I said I didn't have an addiction to it. I took some of my old work from Ultimate, imported it into Studio, tweaked some things, and after a year and a half of hard work and fine-tuning my tracks, I released Loch's Ness Monster. This 11-track album was heavily inspired by a certain side-scrolling, robot-destroying, ability-absorbing protagonist, if you catch my drift. Alright, well thanks again everybody for watching, I really do appreciate it. If you like this video and you want to be kept in the loop of either new tracks coming out or other videos like this in the future, definitely feel free to subscribe to my channel. I'm also going to post my Facebook page link in the description, as well as my album. If you just want to check that out, that's perfectly fine too. Really appreciate that. And just some words of encouragement for any of you maybe looking into getting either into the music scene or really anything that you're passionate about. If you really want to do something and it makes you happy, please by all means do it. Kind of going back to what I mentioned earlier, your time is very limited. You don't know what tomorrow brings, if there's going to be a tomorrow. I can't stress enough that if you're really passionate about it, maybe even if you're not that good about it or good at it at first, by all means, just try it, see what you like doing with it, see where it goes, and really pursue it if it makes you happy. All right, have a good one, folks.